Welcome to writingalong.com. Today's episode is all about writing for closure, which is something you don't exactly, it doesn't just come around easily. It's not just fed directly to you. It's something usually you got to look for, you got to kind of seek out. In most cases in life, right, you don't always get closure on certain things, and it feels like you never will. And it's just these things that kind of live with you and live on. This could be in the larger sense, this could be in the smaller sense, just individual relationships with people or a larger relationship with yourself. It's really interchangeable. It feels the same. It's relative. It gets blown up. It gets magnified, intensified, heightened, depending on no matter what it is, what it looks like. You want closure, and you don't always get it. It's not given to you all the time. But with writing, you have this unique opportunity to kind of make it yourself, create it yourself, find it on your own, and it's just an amazing ability that you can kind of just give yourself, like treat yourself to this ability and develop it. And it's not really that difficult to develop. All you got to do is just write what you're feeling, write what you're thinking on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis. Just take a minute, take a couple minutes, 10 minutes a week if you want. A weekend, just after a long day or something, just write down what you've been thinking, what you've been feeling, and eventually you may find that you come to a sense of closure that really makes no sense on the outside. I mean, nothing appears to have physically changed, but oftentimes it comes from a sense of understanding. People much more versed in all the psychological literature probably can run circles around this concept even more. But again, it's really simple when it really comes down to this part at least. I'm just saying what I know has worked for people I know and other writers that I know and myself. It happens. It's just a natural byproduct of writing because everything exists and lives within the same proximity of your brain, your head, and because of that, it simply by writing, you're utilizing one of those abilities that live there as well. So it's like you're bringing to life, you're bringing to light, you're interconnecting all this stuff that's going on, all these concerns, all these worries, all this negative, like this negative feedback loop in your head that just it gets in the way. You want to accomplish things, you want to do things in life, but it just it's annoying. That's the one way to put it. It's just really annoying. And writing is as a whole, I say it's what you should be striving for. It's what you should be using to let out these conflicting thoughts that seem to have no end, that seem to just be endlessly echoing. It's just this echo chamber in your mind, and you can seek something out, seek discussions that never really arise. They never get anywhere. But self-understanding that's really the path to get there. Because if you ever needed closure, all it really is oh, I get it. That makes sense. Like it doesn't resolve everything. It doesn't mean that like we're something like was taken like if it was revenge or something. It doesn't mean he took that out or something. It doesn't have to look like that. It could just be like something as simple as needing to know why someone did something or why someone like all these interrelationship things that happen in life between family, between individuals, between like all this stuff. I don't know what you need closure from. I have no idea. Answer for yourself right now as a listener of this episode right now. Like really you don't have to let me know. You don't have to comment it. If you feel comfortable, go for it. I'm here to respond and acknowledge as far as I can to my abilities. But really for yourself, I want you to understand not just me, but what's going on with you right now. Because again, you don't always get opportunities to talk about it in your life. So through writing, that's like a place it's not really just, it's beyond just a safe space. It's your place and you make it what you want to be. You don't always have to be just having this therapeutic experience on the page. You can just be telling a story. It seems to have nothing to do with what you're feeling, but just by the nature of it coming from the same place, coming from your same mind, you're going to see in certain interactions, certain dynamics between characters that you're portraying, between events that are occurring, scenes that you're bringing to mind, and images that you're soliciting within the imagination of the reader and yourself. You're going to find that these dynamics are going to be explored. They're going to be understood almost intuitively. You're going to get closure intuitively, sometimes without realizing it. You're going to realize months down the line, like, wait a minute, I don't really care about that anymore. Like, what happened there? Oh, like writing, what? And you'll find that it works throughout your life. Writing as a whole it's more reliable than I think anything else because it's tied to you. It's almost just bound versus something like a therapist can be very helpful in your life, but it costs money. It someone else's time, someone else's life. They can't exactly be there as much as you might need someone to be. And that person, that entity, that whatever you want to call it, that listening can be writing. You will come to understanding all on your own, like understandings for all kinds of experiences in your life through what you find that you reflect back onto the page. You see it staring back at you and you're rereading it. And it's not stuff you have to release. This channel is all about, the whole website and everything, writing and publishing, in a sense, kind of independently, I guess. Like just take it apart. I say I guess because it's really just about communicating your ideas and getting them out. That's really what it means. That's really what it's all about. And getting that kind of confidence in you. But you don't have to release this stuff. I mean, this stuff can be incredibly personal that you're writing and thinking about. You don't have to. Let it out. Like, you don't have to send it to a publication. You don't have to release it as a novel, as a memoir, if you don't want to. But you may find that you want to the more you get into it, because it's this path, it's this journey. And I would encourage you, if you feel comfortable sharing, to share it. Not hold back in that sense, but also know that it's for you. It can be very selfish here in the sense that if you are able to come to a conclusion in your life and find closure with something through writing, you'll be a better person because of it, because you're not holding on to something, not just holding on to your writing, that kind of stuff I talk about here. I mean, a really significant event in your life. You're not just grappling with it. You're not just, it's not preventing you from being the best person that you can be. No, you let it out through writing. You're writing for you and for yourself. No one else has to read it if you don't want them to. They could. Maybe sometime down your life, you might encounter someone who's experiencing something similar. You can show them your writing if you want. They can find similar moments of understanding. You can have those conversations and help people find closure for themselves as well. I make this video in this episode because it's something a lot of people are seeking and not a lot of people are talking about. Because it's easy to just get so caught up with everything, the flow of your life, that you lose track of the things that have loose ends. And not everything has an ending that gets provided and fed to you on a platter. Like, here you go, this is your ending. This is how it all makes sense. This is how everything in your life connects together. So people feel very fragmented. They feel very fractured, like as if there's too many pieces to put together, and they none of them really fit together. It's hard to get some kind of cohesiveness in your life and your identity and who you are. Writing develops that. It builds that, not actively, but just in a sense passively, like background. But you notice it. You really do notice these changes as they happen and really affect your thinking and your thought processes. I would encourage everyone who has writing in them at all as just something they're inclined towards. If you have unearth, dig up those things that you've buried in the past because they're hard to deal with. Like bring them forth because writing can handle it. It's not like you tell someone, oh my God, oh my gosh, like that's too much. You're telling me too much. I can't keep up with this. And you're making me depressed, like that kind of stuff. Like, just no, you don't have to hear about that stuff from someone else. You don't have to worry about or put that expectation on somebody. Writing can handle it. Writing's handled the whole species. It's handled mankind, humankind in general, as a whole. I think it can handle your life as well. People have written accounts of everything you can think of, and you never really hear what it gives the writers because they're not always talking about that. It's such a personal experience but as a writer, you should know, especially if you're beginning and you're just starting out, you should know that it can do that for you. It can provide that for you. Closure is really valuable. You can't put a price on it, but you can achieve it and find it on your own. You don't have the resources maybe for a therapist all the time, like someone that always, a friend, someone to talk to. Some things you can't talk to with other people. You just can't, for varieties of reasons, right? Might be something large. Might be something small, it's something significant to you, insignificant to others, significant to others, insignificant to you. But it's just this thorn, this reminder, you can't shut it up, you can't shut it out. And it gets in the way of your future, of who you are and who you can be. Writing's there for you. Writing will take care of you. Just write out what you're feeling. Fill up a notebook or a few just sentences here and there. After, like I said, a hard day or something, or a week, or you'll find a moment to yourself. It's usually especially after moments where a lot of things have been condensed into one moment, and then you find peace, just a couple minutes to yourself, an hour to yourself. Take advantage of those times, and don't just let them float past you. Use them to write down what you're feeling, what's going on in your head, and little by little you'll do that, and you'll find after a while closure comes to you. You created it for yourself. You created self-understandings. You had those complex conversations, dialogues, and you call it problem solving, but really mostly it's just figuring out the why. Sometimes it gets to the point where the question of why becomes irrelevant in your head, which is that's a great place to be, because you're not asking questions about things anymore. And that's in regards to that thing that you feel is holding you back, or is just choking you up in your life. What is it? What does it look like for you? I'm serious. And the first step before even writing all this stuff down is to ask yourself, what do you need closure from? I know this is a writing advice, 100 days of writing advice, but you're the writer. You're the one getting all this stuff out. You're the one putting stuff into the world. You're the one who's developing the skill. Not just me right now. I mean, you as a person. It's not about me. It's about you. What's going on in your head? You should be aware of it. You should take stock of it, and you should be conscious of it, and you should know writing will help you out. Writing will guide you along the way. It's going to be with you all along the way. Check out How to Write a Book in 30 Days. It's at writingalong.com. 10-part guide if you're interested in writing a book. Completely free, by the way. Just totally free. It's everything I've learned along the way that I just want to share with others as well. Send it to your inbox. It sits there, a nice little PDF, just waiting for you to open when the time comes. The time might be right now. It really might. You don't have to wait till next year or something. I mean, you can write a book this year if you really want to. Nothing's going to stop you. But again, it's not always about writing a book and putting stuff out there. Sometimes it's just about what's going on in your head. You should be aware of that as a writer, as a person, and it's there. It's possible. You can find closure with it. You really can. All right, I'll see you around. Thanks for stopping by on this episode.